Today is March 15th, 2024, and it's a Friday. And it's an oil change Friday. I've been doing this, I just checked, and next month will be 6 years. So I've been changing the oil and the filter in my car at Valvoline quick oil change every 2 weeks for the past 5 years, I think. And since 2024 started, I top the oil off every morning before I drive for Uber in this car. This motor is like at 200,000 miles, and these motors, when they get high mileage like that, they start to burn oil. So this car is at that stage. So every day I check the oil and I top it off every day. And the oil that I use, I get from Amazon.com, because the quarts of oil that you get at these gas stations and these auto parts stores, they're crazy expensive now. Hyperinflation has touched everything. So they're $10.99 a quart, and that is before sales tax. So for a couple quarts, it's like 25 bucks. So in this car, it's just gonna burn that oil anyway. So I get the exact oil that I need from Amazon.com, and it's like $4.16 a quart, and I get a bottle of 5 quarts at a time. And I do that every day before I drive for Uber. I drive this car for Uber every day, and I drive this car personally also. And I need this car to start up every time I press the button. So to do that, I have to change the oil a lot. Like today, I'm going to Valvoline quick oil change, and they've asked me a couple times before, because I've changed the oil in this car so often, that I needed to get, I guess, the new oil filter cap housing, because I've never changed it before. So I need to get a new one, because the one that's there is stripped from changing the oil so many times. So I got the new one, and I'm going to give it to him today. So the Valvoline quick oil change place is coming up here on the right. So I don't think there'll be too much of a wait here, but I thought there was going to be a big wait last time, and there wasn't. So right now we're in the middle of the month, so who knows? Whatever the wait time is, I'll wait it out. I don't even care. Here we go. It's 11:28 a.m. right now. So I waited for like 5 or 10 minutes. No big deal. Pretty good. How you doing? Go ahead. Yes.
What are we doing on the tires? 35 and 33?
35 in the front, 33 in the back, please.
Miles?
The miles are 541,870.
541,870?
Correct.
35 and 33.
Can you give this to the guy who is working down the pit?
Is this the canister?
Yeah, it's a cat.
I was just talking to the manager about that. I was down there the last 3 times or 2 times you came.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah, it's tough to get off.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah. Well, because it's stripped out, we have to use a band wrench.
Yeah, because I come here all the time.
Yeah. So with the gold cup that's supposed to be, that fits the perfectly, we got to torque it. It's got a certain torque, but you can't get the torque with the band wrench. You kind of just have to.
Cool.
But I appreciate you grabbing that.
Not a problem.
All right, max light like last time?
Yes.
All right, we're going to check your lights, okay?
Yes.
Can I get light check over here? Go ahead and turn them on for me. Flash right in. Left signal, right signal. Are your backup lights?
Are they good?
Yep, everything.
Cool. Thanks, brother. See you in 2 weeks.
Sir.
So oil change Friday is done. I can cross that off my to-do list. I'll just write this off real quick and then I'll be ready to go driving. Right now it is 12:21 p.m. I guess they didn't have an oil filter for my car, so they had to run across the street to get one. And I guess there was nobody working at the place across the street, so it took a while. I was like, whatever. My name is Rideshare Sean. I've been a rideshare driver for Uber Human. I have never driven for Eats for over 5 years. My start date was April 2nd, 2018. So this coming April next month will be 6 years driving for me full time. I do not have a job. I drive for Uber full time, and I have for the past 6 years. I guess like the first 3 months that I was driving, I had a regular job in a call center. So after that, I've been driving full time ever since. And these are 5 tips that should help every driver. It should help every driver drive more and make more money. And that is the name of the game. The first tip is talk to all your passengers that talk to you first. Sometimes passengers will get in your car and not want to talk at all. And as a driver, I completely get that. You have to kind of understand that. But if they talk to you, you absolutely should talk right back to them. Riders have good information. You should, as a driver, you should take the good and leave the bad. That's the way that it is. And you will be surprised. I mean, you get information from one rider and then you get the same information from another rider and the same information from another rider. That information is probably pretty accurate. It is the job of a rideshare driver to understand and break that trip. Every single trip that you take a passenger on has a beginning, a middle, and an end. The most important part of the trip is the end of the trip. It is your job. The first part of the trip is the pickup, and I would say probably the first 1 minute of the trip. Then there's the middle, which is usually the biggest part, and that is the portion of the trip where you're talking back and forth with the passenger. And the most important part of the trip is the end of the trip, the drop off. And for me, I drop people off at airports, so I have to get out of the car and give them their luggage, and that is also a very important part of the trip. You want to make sure and nail that every single time. It is the job of a driver to understand that this entire Uber game, whatever it is, the entire rideshare game is all about money. Now, it's important that you don't let your customer know that, or the rider know that, but you absolutely should know that everything is about money in the rideshare business. So whether or not you decide to pick up a rider is completely up to you, and that should be done before you stop your car and put it in park so the driver can get in. As a driver, you need to make that decision yourself right then and there. Is it safe or is it not? Should you stay or should you go? Should you cancel or should you pick up the rider? You should make that decision yourself before you pick up the passenger. Tip number 4 is do not ever believe anything about a tip until you either have it in your hand or you see it in the app. These riders are all pretty savvy about riding. They will talk about a story, and in that story they will talk about tipping somebody. And just because they say that does not mean that a tip is coming at all. They say that a lot of times so that you'll drive them right, or they'll have a better experience. But don't believe anything about a tip until it's either in your hand or you can see it in the app on your phone. I had a lady rider just the other day tell me that she looked at her phone and she sent me a tip and said what happens after the tip. She stated that she read it to me, and what happened was I'm pretty sure I never got any amount of a tip, nothing. What I think is that she had some sort of screenshot on her phone from when she did a tip at one time, and she read that information. When she read that information to me, I thought that was it. A tip was coming for sure, but it was a lie. These riders lie all the time about tipping. I've had riders tell me they give me a specific amount, like $15 one time. A person said they tipped me. Nothing came through. The thing is that when tips actually happen, the people that send those tips, they usually don't say anything. They just tip. Period. That's it. They never say anything about a tip. The problem is that there are people that say that they're going to tip the driver, and about 15% of those people actually will tip you. I do know this for sure. When somebody says they're going to tip you, the chances of that tip actually coming go way down. The 5th and final tip is try not to use the Uber GPS. A lot of times people will say, I've never had a problem with it. Uber GPS is horrible. They say that they have made it better, but in my experience, they have not. And it is always inaccurate. And these riders will rate you on how well you are able to navigate. They do it all the time. So if you do everything good and you're not able to navigate, they will probably take off a star, sometimes even more than that, just for that reason.